Yeah. No, we are live. We're good. Fellow's been in here for like 20 minutes. I'm building like an alt receiving lines parlay right now, so
Really?
I'll update you guys on what I end up doing. But the first guy in here was Wyatt. Kittle or Goddard.
Otter.
Goddard. Yeah, like I think Goddard's kind of surpassed him as far as like startability with how Kittle's been playing. He's been a lot less efficient than we normally see from George Kittle. George Kittle's been, typically like the most efficient tight end in the league over the last couple of years, and he's been like 7 yards per target instead of like the 10 that he's normally at. So not been great for him. Thoughts on T. Higgins also? Thanks, guys. Okay, so for those of you guys that have T. Higgins questions, because I'm sure there's going to be
Fringe top
plenty of you.
30-ish receiver.
Yeah, so I have T. Higgins. I think I'm a little higher than top 30. I think he's like 24 for me because of all the injuries with Olave and Thomas and some of the other guys not playing. Yeah, so I have him at 27. So I still would start him, but if you have like Jacoby Myers or like Adam Thielen or Deontay Johnson or Christian Kirk or somebody like that, I'm cool benching T. Higgins for those options because
Agree with that.
he's got a lot of volatility. I saw Deepak tweeted out like he has high re-injury risk, and hopefully he doesn't re-injure it. Hopefully he's just like plays on a pitch count and they keep him healthy or something like that.
Yep. Deontay Johnson, Waddle, London, pick 2, full PPR. I am going to be sitting Deontay here. Pretty easily for me.
Yeah, it's not easily for me, but I will be sitting him.
I love Deontay, but Waddle is top 12, top 14 receiver every week. Yeah.
Full PPR. I need an RB2 and a flex. Henderson, Dobbins, Najee Harris, and Judy.
Hendo and Judy.
Yeah, I think Hendo's for sure in there for me. I do still like Dobbins this week, even though like we saw a little bit of a dip in his usage last week. I think that was a little fluky. I don't think we're going to see that every week. I think he's going to be closer to the 50 to 60% snap share type of range. And they're playing the Giants, who have just not been great against the run this year. I think they're getting Leonard Williams back though, so they might be a little bit strong. I think the upside play is probably Dobbins Henderson, but if you need some safety there, I'm going Judy. And if this is full PPR especially, then I would definitely go Judy.
Yep. No, I agree with that.
Najee's just gross. I don't want to start Najee. So scared to start Higgins. Would you start Alec Pierce, Deion Jackson, or Garrett Wilson over him? So Garrett Wilson would be the only guy that I would consider of that group.
I still wouldn't.
I still probably wouldn't, though. Yeah, I have Garrett Wilson at 29, and I have Higgins at 27. So I would start Higgins. We also don't have Marshawn Lattimore in this game for the Saints, so I think the Bengals should be able to move the ball with relative ease, and they also might be on the field on offense quite a bit if the Saints are failing to move the ball on offense themselves because they're without their top receivers.
I mean, that's the biggest story, right? Like, what the fuck? Chris Olave's out. Like,
it's 10 target Alvin Kamara is what's happening today.
100%, and I have him in our listener league.
I have him in my home league, so I'm cool with it.
Yeah, that's a big little shout out right there for him.
Hey guys, half PPR roll with Higgins or start Gallup, Elijah Moore, Slayton, Wandale, or I don't even know who DVP is.
Just go with Higgins.
Yeah, go with T there. None of those options are good enough to bench him for. Full PPR, pick one: Evan Ingram or Dalton Schultz. I'm gonna probably go Schultz there.
Yeah. He's I think he logged a full practice on Friday. He's clear to go for this game. Obviously, that knee injury was hindering him a little bit, but he did practice this week at least. So I'm fine with starting him over Evan Ingram, who like I don't even know like. Is he just gonna like keep rotting in that like tight mid-range tight end 2 range for like the next 5 years?
Yeah,
Evan
probably.
Ingram? Yeah, man. Pain. Pick one: Gordon, Singletary, or ETN. Thanks. I'm gonna go with a little. Oh, fuck! Melvin and Singletary is so close here. I'm gonna change my rankings because I think I have Gordon higher, but I think I would actually start Singletary.
I definitely have Singletary higher.
I mean, it's just such a high over-under.
Yeah. I have Singletary at 13.
I have him at 17. Where do you have Gordon?
I have Gordon at 17.
I have him at 18 now. So I had them 17, 18 back to back.
Yeah.
It's also because I have Darrell Henderson, Eno Benjamin higher. And Raheem
I have Eno Benjamin at 15 and Henderson at 18.
I have Raheem the Dream at 13.
Wow.
And Jeff Wilson at 12.
I am quite low compared
I'm lowering Jeff Wilson because he actually lost some work this past week. He is going to go.
Jeff Wilson a little bit too.
He's going to go under Hendo. He'll be 16 for me.
I'm going to move Mostert up ahead of Najee.
W. Where do you have Mostert now?
20.
Holy shit, you're low. We gotta make a Mostert versus someone bet.
Yeah.
Wait,
Half PPR need one running back at a flex between Sanders, Elliott,
first two.
Robinson, and Lazard.
Yeah, assuming that's Allen Robinson, Allen Lazard. Yeah, give me the first two.
It might be J Rob.
Oh,
I'd probably go Sanders and Elliott with this one.
yeah, that's where I have it as well.
I don't know though, man.
No,
Lazard versus Elliott's kind of close. I would probably go Sanders and Elliott though.
Yeah, I definitely would. Wait, what was I saying? I was saying, Raheem Mostert, by the way. So you know how Sleeper does like the projected over underlines, like in terms of player yardage and stuff.
Yep.
Raheem Mostert has the same over under rushing yards as Christian McCaffrey. I have them both in my lineup.
Yeah, I mean Christian McCaffrey also has a fucking terrible matchup this week.
Got a super chat here from Alfredo. Pitts or Everett. I still gotta go with Kyle Pitts here. Still gotta go Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts is gonna end up costing a lot of people some shit though if he just keeps playing terrible, because he's eventually just gonna keep sinking your lineup if he's continuously bad. I'm building an alternate receiving yards parlay right now, and I'm trying to get Jacoby Myers in as the last guy because I like him this week.
Jer, this is risk tolerance, brother. If you are worried about Higgins, Dobbins is a suitable enough option to be able to pivot to. But if you're willing to risk it, obviously higher upside with T. Higgins, that is your own risk tolerance, risk management. I think. Like I would personally go with Higgins because I mean, like he's T. Higgins, but like it's fucking close. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I would go with Dobbins probably if you're feeling uneasy about it.
Yep.
Okay, so back up to the top here. Pick one half PPR: George Pickens, Michael Carter, Rashad White, or Deion Jackson. I don't really love any of these options. I like the Bucks to boat race the Steelers this week. I think I would go with Rashad White of these options.
I would go with George Pickens.
Yeah, that would be who would be between. It would be between White and Pickens for me. But I like how the Bucks corners match up against Pickens. That's why I wouldn't go with him.
Rashad versus Deion Jackson is relatively close.
I'm not all in on this Deion Jackson hype train. I have him at 32. I think he's like a suitable low end flex option, but I wouldn't be shocked if they make random running back that we don't know about. If Lindsey gets a lot of work, like I think and it's also a low over under game. The steam's on the under. The line started at like 43.5. It's at 41 right now. Like it's just not a great game environment. I'd rather invest in the 26 implied points that the Bucks have.
I currently have Deion Jackson, Rashad White back to back in my rankings.
Really?
Yeah, 30, 31, 32. I have Deion Jackson one spot higher. Here, wait. Oh, I just saw this now. Peonia, appreciate that $2 super chat. He says pick two: Mostert, Boyd, DJ Moore, McKenzie, or Deion Jackson. First of all, Mostert doesn't even remotely fit in with the rest right now, the way he's been playing. But either way,
he's definitely in there for sure. And I think McKenzie's also probably a lock in this too, just given the point total of that game.
McKenzie over Moore, eh?
I would start McKenzie over Moore for sure.
I respect it. That's spice, but I definitely could see it in that game script.
Okay, real quick, I want to tell you what I got for my parlay that I'm doing. So I have a couple over under parlays that are like, whatever. They're probably going to do well, but I'm doing some alt receiving lines. If you guys don't know, like if you want to try and win big on these betting sites, this is the way to do it. These alt receiving lines. If you just predict a couple guys to go off, then usually you can win big here. I got Metcalf going for 90 plus yards. I love the over under in that game. Jamar Chase, no Marshawn Lattimore, I think. And Joe Burrow actually showed up to the stadium wearing a Jamar Chase jersey. I think this is a squeaky wheel game for Jamar Chase. So give me that 110 plus. I also love Jacoby Myers. Got like a 40% target share the last two games that he's played. And Amari Cooper has a great matchup this week too. So I might roll with those guys.
I will warn you right now, Corey. As soon as you actually rely on Amari Cooper, it's probably not going to work out for you.
You're scaring me straight because now that I just said it, actually, I remember he does not have a great matchup because he's getting Jonathan Jones in shadow coverage or whatever. So I'm going to take Amari Cooper out of that, and I will flip in somebody else instead.
You want to hear what's going to be funny? So what was the line? 80 yards?
80 yards, yeah.
Stay tuned today. Keep track of what Amari Cooper does because there's like a good chance he goes for like 7 yards, 79 yards, or he goes ballistic. There's no in
Yeah,
between.
definitely possible. I might mix in Godwin instead because I like Godwin's matchup.
I don't mind it. Also, Flet said Jones is out. I just see at the bottom of the comments.
He is out.
Yeah.
I don't. The Patriots secondary scares me in general, though. Like they're just
It's
a
Bill Belichick, you know.
they're
well
well coached.
coached.
Like it's
Yeah.
hard to say that they're just going to let a guy behind them. Okay, so
Good. I got a
instead
super
I
chat
threw
here.
Godwin in there for 80 yards. So that's a $25 bet, pays out nearly $2,000.
I like that. Paul says, appreciate the super chat, by the way. He says Devontae Smith or Romeo Dubs. Advanced model says Dubs. What model? I'm going. I
No
don't
idea.
mind.
Maybe ETR. I don't know.
I don't mind the call. I would go with Smith because I just think he's a better player. It's Sunday Night Football. But I mean, the target share has been really good for Romeo Dubs. We expect the Packers offense to start getting back on track soon. Like, I think he could fix his way into that top 30 rankings area.
Yeah, I think my strength. If he's referring to my strength of schedule thing too, that would have probably led you to Dubs too, because Smith has a bad matchup. But I would still go with Smith personally.
I definitely would still go with Smith, but the fact that we're in week 6 now, week 6, and like this is like a fine question. Like, if this was asked in week 1, could you imagine like the reaction?
Yeah, I know, right? Like
it's crazy how shit works in fantasy, man. But I would go with Devontae Smith, Paul. But I do understand the optimism around Dubs, given how many targets he's been earning recently. Got another couple super chats here. You also have where we left off on the normals, right?
I do, yeah.
All right. Brandon, appreciate that $2 super chat. He says start Ayuk or Deion Jackson at flex full PPR. Give me Brandon Ayuk there, Brandon. Brandon Ayuk for Brandon.
Yeah, facts. Looks like we got a couple more if you want to hit those.
Jawan, appreciate the $5 super chat. He says 3 questions, full PPR. Gabe Davis or Mike Williams, ETN or Kareem Hunt, or Geno Smith or Kirk. So for the first one, Gabe Davis or Mike Will, I will still go with Mike Williams. They're really close.
Surtain and shadow coverage over under in that Bills game. Give me Gabriel Davis.
Really, yeah?
Yeah, I'll take Gabe Davis. I don't know if I have it ranked that way, but I think I should if I don't. I think I tanked Williams in my rankings.
I just adjusted my rankings, and Williams is 17 and Gabe Davis is 20. So I would still go. Actually, I would take him over Kirk and Pittman, to be honest.
I have Williams
17, 18.
I do have Gabe Davis at 16, so I did have him a little higher.
Okay. I mean, I would go with Mike Williams, but like they're fucking flip a coin. That's how close they are. So if you want to go with Corey there, go with Gabe Davis. That's fine. ETN or Hunt. I believe I have Hunt higher. Let me just take a look. I should have Hunt.
Kareem Hunt there, yeah.
I mean, that matchup is so fucking good for the ground game on either side of the Browns Patriots. So I like that a lot for Hunt. Hunt is my RB25. And
I need to check if Jonnu Smith is active today, because I'm starting Hunter Henry in place of Freiermuth in the league. And if he's not, if Jonnu Smith is active, then I'm gonna have to swap out.
Hunt's my RB25 this week, by the way. And then the final question,
about that range as well.
Final question is Geno Smith or Kirk Cousins. I have Geno Smith higher. I would
really. You have Geno higher than Cousins. I mean, it's great
matchup. He's been playing arguably just as well. Like, yeah,
high total.
Give me Geno. Appreciate the super chat, by the way, Jawan. Hopefully, we helped a lot. Another super chat here from our Gravy. Appreciate that. Reports of T looking hobbled in warmups. Game script with the Saints likely not keeping pace. Kind of surprised you both would start him. It's more so the fact that I would start him, but like I'm still monitoring my expectations. Again, maybe this is just a fucking false case, if you will. I'm sure you can agree with this, Corey. But sometimes, even if you know, like there's a likelihood that maybe your play might not work out because of injury or something that's going on exterior.
You'd rather go down with Higgins than you would with some other shitter.
I'd rather go down with the chance that Higgins disappoints me than bench Higgins and he goes off and I'm like, what the fuck? Like I was gonna put him in my lineup.
Yeah, like why would I bench T Higgins? Like that's when you're like, fantasy football isn't hard, just play T Higgins.
Yeah,
but
it definitely is a worrying injury. It definitely is.
In my position right now, what would you do? I think I'm probably going to pivot off of Hunter Henry, because not only is Jonnu Smith active, but Mac Jones is not playing. So
and he also just sucks.
He was getting like 95% of the snaps the last 2 games with Jonnu out of the lineup. So I figured, at least from like a routes perspective, it's probably a decent play. And if Mac Jones was going to play, it might have been also decent. So my other options are I go with Will Dissly, who's on the waiver wire, or I go with Robert Tonyan, who's also on the waiver wire.
It's so funny you said that, because literally in one of my home leagues right now, which league was it? I don't know. In one of my leagues, dude, I had Hunter Henry in and I subbed him out for Will Disley.
Yeah.
And people are hearing.
I think I'm going to go Tunyon. He projects better. His over-under for receiving yards is better. He has a good chance of getting a touchdown. Plus, I'm already going to be watching the Jets game a lot with Breece Hall and Elijah Moore in my lineup, so I might as well just throw a Packer on the other side.
You want to hear something really gross, by the way?
What's that?
I'm starting Daniel Jones in a league right now, redraft league.
Ew.
Because Dak is coming back next week, but fucking pain. It's a good matchup, though, against Baltimore. High implied over-under. Giants are at home, so hoping he doesn't just shit and piss down his leg, to be honest.
He could very well shit and piss down his leg.
Very good. A couple more super chats. One from Goonboy. Appreciate that. He says, "Sup, boys? Dylan, Deion Jackson, or Darrell Henderson?" I'm going with Darrell Henderson here.
Yeah,
I know.
Close for me.
Yeah, I agreed. I know it's tough.
I like Dylan in this game script too. It's probably going to be an easy matchup for the Packers on the ground.
Like I want, they're relatively close. I think I have currently AJ Dillon at 20 and Darrell Henderson at 50, and I would just prefer Darrell. $5 super chat here from JR. So tough. Dobbins and Knox or Higgins and Elijah Moore. Tight end premium. Is this a trade? Because if this is a trade, Higgins and Elijah Moore. It's like
Higgins
really easy.
Yeah.
Like I would prefer both the sides of the right to both the sides of the left.
Yeah, I would as well.
Yeah. 279 super chat from Jay Pazzi. I appreciate that. He says flex Waddle or Henderson half PPR. That's a relatively good question. Only I can't sit Waddle for Henderson.
That's another one of those, like, I'm not sitting my better player for a worse player who projects better. Like
it's just the worst part about that too, by the way, I'm sure you can agree too, is as soon as you make that decision, let's just say, you start Darrell Henderson over Jalen Waddle. And then you go and you watch Red Zone and it's showing the Rams game and Darrell Henderson gets like a 2-yard carry and you're like, I guess like it helps the points, it's profit. And then it spans, bro, the news from Miami, Jalen Waddle busts open a 75-yard touchdown. It's just like, okay, no.
It's like also that Carolina Rams game is just going to be so disgusting that I don't even want to watch it. And you'd have to if you have Henderson. So
I have to because I have fucking McCaffrey.
Yeah, I have McCaffrey in the Tone Setters League, so I got to watch it also. But
by the way, are you ready for when McCaffrey's a Bill?
I don't think that's gonna happen.
It might not, but it probably won't. But imagine, dude. Like, dude, they've actually been scheming up targets for their running backs this year. Like Devin Singletary, Zach Moss, fucking like they throw the ball like 50 times a game.
James Cook in the 3 get that done for Carolina.
Might have to be a 2, but like definitely a day 2 pick. I would say that would like if you're Carolina, fucking it's a running back. Like just get a pick.
Yeah, get rid of him.
Yeah, for real. Zach, appreciate $2 super chat. He says Cook, Eno, Henderson, pick 2 full PPR. Where do I have Eno versus? I have Eno at 14 and Henderson at 15. So I
have Eno higher. I would go with Eno.
It's
a higher over under. It's a fast paced game. I think he's a better player too. So I'm going with Eno.
I have them back to back. I have Eno at 14 and Darrell at 15. So I would agree. I would sit Henderson here. That's a tough decision, man. That's a tough decision. Sure. So we are all caught up on the supers. We can go back up to the top there.
Cool. All right, we got from Tommy here, different league, full PPR, Taysom Hill or Dawson Knox. I'm going to take Taysom Hill there probably. And then flex George Pickens, Deion Jackson, Melvin Gordon. I will take Melvin Gordon.
Yep.
Yeah. Gordon, Carter, or Lindsey. I will take Gordon there again. There, Corey. Thanks for your help, guys. No problem there, Tommy. Michael Gallup or Mike Boone, full PPR. I'm unsure if Gordon is going to play, so I may have to take. Yeah, that's the other thing. I guess Melvin Gordon isn't a guarantee that he's going to play, but I think we probably would have heard if he was like unlikely or likely to play or not. I think he'll probably be active, but I guess you might have that decision made by Sunday Night Football. So that's solid that at least you have Gallup as the first option there. I'd probably go with Gallup, to be honest.
Yep, I'd be fine going with Gallup. I don't really think Gordon.
Even if Gordon's out, like it's Mike Boone. Like, is he really going to go off?
Like, there's a case that Gallup can just outscore him, even if he's the only back there.
Yeah.
Got a couple more super chats. So Jair, he was basically. Oh, okay, I get it. Right. So if he starts a second running back, he has to start a tight end. Which
I would just go take it more.
I agree there. And again, I appreciate the follow up super chat as well. Got a couple more super chats here. One from Alex. What up, you beauties? Bench 1 PPR, Pittman, Kenneth Walker, Eno Benjamin. What a By the way, an embarrassment of riches. You're going into the bye weeks and people are out there starting, fucking Deion Jackson and fucking who even like. I'm trying to think of just the random plays I have in like my lineups this week. I'm not going to Dynasty because Dynasty is a whole fucking different
Yeah, I'm
story.
starting Skylar Thompson in one of our Dynasty leagues
Same.
at quarterback. So.
Same. Dude, wait. In one of my Dynasty leagues, I'm tanking and I have 0 running backs. I have Samaje Perine and Deion Jackson as my 2 running backs this week. We're rolling.
It's a good week.
Oh yeah. Did I just scoop Deion Jackson off waivers? I was go. Wait, did I start? Oh, that's where I put Will Disley in my lineup.
Yeah. But I would, to Alex's question, I would sit Pittman here. Even though it's full PPR, he probably has the benefit of the doubt over those running backs. I don't love that game environment for the Colts offense, and they're not going to have JT. It's just going to be another gross, like 12-point effort, I think, from the Colts offense. And I like the outlook of Kenneth Walker and Eno playing against each other in a high game.
Yep, I would agree with you there. Got another super chat here from Jackson. Appreciate that. He says, just woke up. Sorry if y'all went over this, but pick 2 full PPR. Higgins, Waddle. Wow. It's talk about it, dude. Like,
or no, sorry, Higgins is there. I'm gonna say Higgins just tiebreaker because he's injured.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, you have all 3 of those guys on the same team. Like, well done. That's a lot of fun. But with that being said, sit Higgins because he does have the injury concern, and let's be real, you have 2 elite young wide receivers in the rest of the question as well.
Yeah.
Here, do we have any? Okay, we got one more. Appreciate that from Hector as well. He says, good morning, Mostert, Gordon, Henderson, Stevenson, pick 2. Stevenson and Mostert.
Henderson versus Mostert's probably a conversation. I have Henderson a little higher, but if you wanted to go with Mostert, I wouldn't blame you. You could throw those 2 names in a hat.
Wait, by the way, with the receiver core that he just said, Jackson said he's 1-4. Don't worry, positive regression's coming. That team will catch up. With that being said, Stevenson's my RB5 this week, so he's clearly the lead option in this question.
Is Damian Harris inactive? Because it wasn't even a guarantee.
Inactive.
Yeah, he is inactive. Okay.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm sure you could Spicy Hawk could listen in the private chat. I'll give you a little. I mean, I guess like both of them kind of like are stinky and pissy in terms of the receiving game, but I will make you a bet: Mostert versus Henderson.
I don't have a conviction either way, to be honest.
Okay, fair enough.
I would probably, if you want to go tiebreaker, Mostert's just the better running back. I wouldn't blame you.
It's fair.
Henderson, there's very few running backs that I would say Darrell Henderson's better than. Let's just put it that way.
Ezekiel Elliott?
No, I don't think he's
better. I agree with you. It's just like gross.
I just don't think Henderson's good. Like, I think he is like the definition of mid, and probably even less than that because I think he's a below average running back in the NFL.
Well, the thing that's so weird about Henderson is like if he's got like a wide open crease, like obviously like he's fast enough to be able to exploit that. He's an NFL athlete, but as soon as he has to try to create on his own, bro is fucking lost.
Which, by the way, not good playing for the Los Angeles Rams right now because their line will not create any holes for you.
Do they have the worst line in the league right now?
Probably. One of the worst, for sure.
I agree with that.
Need a flex and a wide receiver. Devontae Smith, DJ Moore, Christian Kirk, James Robinson, and Darrell Henderson. So the wide receiver for me is Christian Kirk. Yep. And flex would come down to Darrell Henderson versus Devontae Smith. I'd probably go Darrell Henderson, given the tough matchup for Devontae Smith. But again, that's one of those things. It's like you want to throw the better player in your lineup, just throw Devontae Smith in there. But I think Henderson projects a little bit better, so that's where I'd go. There,
breaking news from Jay Glazer. Rams are actively trying to trade Cam Akers, and he's unlikely to ever play again in LA. So, I mean, I'm going to say, guys, if you have Darrell Henderson right now and he goes out and he has, a 20-point game this week, see what you can get for him. Because I'm not entirely convinced they don't go and trade for Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. I think they'd be the most likely team to trade for Christian McCaffrey. Also, Darrell Henderson stinks. So if he has a good game, like, dude, it's also so classic to me that I traded Darrell Henderson last week and now he has all this value. So classic, right?
Dude, I actually have so much. I have so much Henderson, which it will suck a little bit if the Rams trade for a running back because I have so much Darrell Henderson on.
I need Cam Akers to go to the Cardinals so I can resurrect my Cam Akers best ball shares, man.
Dude, think of that, right? I had like 25% Darrell Henderson and 20% Cam Akers. If they actually both became starting running backs in different situations, could you imagine that?
Yeah, that'd be really good for the portfolio. Corey says, should I trade Elijah Moore? You're not going to get anything for him, so I probably would just hold.
Aaron, did it actually come out a couple days ago? Because it just showed up on Sleeper right now. So I
The
didn't even know that. Fair.
Usually, Jay Glazer's a big like Sunday morning news drop guy, so I figured that probably came out.
I know. I knew they were trading him, but like the part that I found was breaking news was like
they
might cut him, and he's never expected to suit up in a Rams uniform again.
God, how wrong could we have been on Cam Akers? Like, not only has the Rams offense been bad, not only has he been bad, but he like apparently doesn't work hard or gets along with his coaching staff. Like, we've been wrong on him on so many levels. It's insane.
Yeah. It sucks, but I mean, it's gonna happen.
I stand by the bet that we made. Maybe not the Achilles part, but the bet of a young running back that showed a lot of talent in a great offense. Like, I'm gonna make that bet 9 times out of 10.
Oh, 100%.
There's a lot of risk factors there. So, should I start over Everett? And
yes.
No, I would
Pitts over Everett. Yes.
Yeah, I would start Pitts, but that's actually a conversation. And which defense should I start? Chargers against the Broncos on Monday night. Vikings against.
I bet the Vikings. They're 3-point road favorites. Miami,
right? Against. Yeah, I think I'd go
Packers.
Packers against the Jets is also
at home
interesting too. But the Packers have been really bad on defense this year.
I guess, but like at home, like
7-point favorites against the Jets. Zach
low
Wilson's
implied over under.
Yeah, I'd probably go Packers.
Yeah. It sucks sometimes because you have a gut feeling, but like sometimes just you got to trust the process.
This game is going one of two ways. Either the Jets will be the biggest news story in the NFL on Monday because they've won 3 straight games with Zach Wilson and they're 4-2, or this will be exactly what most people expect Zach Wilson to do. He probably throws 3 interceptions. They lose 40-17 to the Packers.
Yep, agree with that. I got a super chat here quickly from Joel. Just dropped Akers for Boone. Should I get him back? I just view Boone as a low ceiling type of option. I'd probably like it depends. Do you need points right now? If you need points right now, I think Boone's going to get you, RB3 level production, and he's going to be a fine, flexible / RB2 streamer play. But if you're 4-1 and you can afford like waiting to see, maybe Akers goes to the Cardinals or Akers goes to the Seahawks or Akers goes to, a valuable situation. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like if he goes to that type of situation, then thinking from a market value standpoint, he's got a higher implied value. And again, this is a little bit of a tangent, but I say this all the time when I'm talking in trade discussions. Like I'll bring up a guy like Alex Madison or Tony Pollard or something like that. And they're like, well, I can't put them in my flex right now. Like, what do they do for me? And I said, well, like if you're thinking every single player is only tied to their actual production value, you're wrong. Because what people don't do enough,
a couple bench spots for players like that, and then you have 2 or 3 bench spots that are reserved for ceiling plays.
Because we get pretty good as a community being able to value production, but people don't do a good enough job valuing in like a player or calculating in a player's implied value. Because like again, Madison, Pollard, Rashad White, like all these fucking like high priority handcuff running backs. Like you're probably not gonna be able to start them, but if anything were to happen to the incumbent starter in front of them, like they're legitimately league-winning level play. So I don't think as a community we do a good enough job valuing just how high implied value should be factoring into our decisions.
Yeah, and like I said, you don't want to have 7 handcuffs on your bench. You probably want to have 2 or 3 guys that you could work into your flex spot if need be on bye weeks and stuff. But it's better to have more of those guys usually than not enough. So I hope CeeDee Lamb plays. If not, I have Devontae Smith to replace him, but I have the Cowboys defense. Yeah,
CeeDee Lamb going to play. He got announced that he's going to play.
Yeah, the Cowboys have already said that he was probably going to play. Late adds to the injury report are never usually a good sign, but they came out right away basically and said that he was going to play. So I'm not really that worried.
And the whole vibe from the Cowboys side this week has basically been like, we're just trying to ease him in. He's going to play Sunday Night Football. Whereas again, I was kind of saying this on the Patreon live stream yesterday, but the vibe with Dak throughout just seemed like he never really had a true chance to play. Also, Stevenson very easily in this question, Zaddy, and he's a top 5 wide receiver, top 5 running back for me this week.
Yeah, I mean he's my 6, but I do love him this week. Also, who should I start? Lamar or Hurts? And the reason I haven't traded one away yet is no one has trade anyone good away for them. Yeah, I mean you need to trade one for sure.
Yeah.
I would say
go Lamar.
When you get a huge week out of one of those guys, try and move them. If not, again, you got to be looking for at least like what's the bare minimum you sell one of those quarterbacks for? Like Chris Godwin type, or do you need more than that?
More. Like
more? Yeah.
Well, if we're, okay, relative value standpoint, I know we're doing a lot of macro game theory type of
What about like
discussion
Debo?
right now. No,
You need a better receiver than that.
It's close there.
Waddle or Higgins?
I would do Waddle. Higgins close.
Yeah,
I'd probably do that.
And then at running back, that's like the Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker territory, probably rest of season.
Higher than Kenneth Walker for sure. I wouldn't trade one of those quarterbacks. The reason why is because, like, again, we talked about it a little bit, but we redraft today. All three of those quarterbacks, top three. I mean, everybody knows the top three at this point in terms of fantasy. It's Lamar, it's Hurts, it's Allen. All three of those guys are going
picks.
Top 15, top 20 picks. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like we don't want to overreact given like what we've like talked about in fantasy for the last fucking 5 years. But at the same time, it's like we spotted this trend before the season. We said, listen, like these elite quarterbacks are more comparatively valued than they've ever been. So we have to value them accordingly. And if we're
the fact that you were getting Jalen Hurts as your sixth,
it's silly
roster is insane.
Dude, in my home league, so I had the 101. Guess what pick I got fucking Jalen Hurts in?
What?
The 701.
Yeah, that's crazy. Dude. I'm still mad that I picked Michael Thomas 5'11" in my home league, and at 602 or whatever, I was hoping Jalen Hurts would fall back to me, but I probably should have just picked him because the guy that picked at the 1-2 turn or whatever was an Eagles fan. He's like, I'm not letting Jalen Hurts get to you. I should have picked Jalen Hurts, but I was like, you know what? I'm okay with Dak Prescott, Tom Brady tier. I'm just going to wait on those guys. And of course I take Dak and he gets injured, but hopefully Prescott's back for me here.
By the way, I got a question here. So Felix actually had a $1 super sticker, but then he followed up with a chat. So he didn't have a chat on the actual super sticker, but I'll get to his chat because I'm assuming that's what he intended to do. Good wide receiver core, Diggs, DK, Wilson, Jacoby, DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, you got a ton of upside there. I mean, Diggs, top 5 wide receiver rest of the season. DK Metcalf is, the main question we had, it was never the talent with DK Metcalf. It was never the big playability. It was how can Geno Smith and how can the Seahawks offense really support consistent point production from DK Metcalf? Geno Smith looks like legitimately one of the best 12 quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
Yeah,
and that's not even hyperbolic.
Receiver as a result of that. And then I'm assuming that's Garrett Wilson. He's a huge upside piece there.
Jacoby
Myers a solid flex option, and DeAndre Hopkins can be right there with Metcalf in terms of rest of season value once he gets back.
Yeah, and then with Hopkins, even if you're worried about him because he's older, coming off that PED suspension, his market value, like you're going to be able to easily get wide receiver 2 level value from him, 100%.
Yeah, he's just such a big name.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, okay. So you have where we left off.
Upset is that the Giants beat the Ravens, Falcons beat the 49ers, Jets beat the Packers, and Panthers beat the Rams. So if you're
I really like those, man.
Those money lines probably pay out a pretty decent bet.
I did my own underdog parlay.
There.
Wait, sorry, pardon?
What do you think is the most likely of those that he has listed? I think the Falcons is probably the most likely to beat the 49ers.
Yeah, easily. I think the Giants beating the Ravens too.
My heart's telling me Jets beat the Packers is the most likely, but I do think the Packers probably win this game.
Giants beating the Ravens has to be up there too.
Yeah. Is Wan'Dale playing this week?
I think so. I don't know how much he's going to play, but
I talked about him in the Dynasty Trade Targets video that I dropped yesterday. And if you guys haven't checked that out yet, go check it out after, today's over or whatever. But Wan'Dale could really, really rise in Dynasty value in the next couple of weeks because he hasn't even been on the field really to start the season at all. And now he's going to be, alone in a decimated wide receiver core that has nobody healthy and nobody that even feels like I honestly think Kenny Golladay and Kadarius Toney aren't even injured, to be honest. It seems like neither of them want to play for the Giants.
I actually have a couple parlays today. So I told you about my one. It was like the underdog parlay, if you will, right? I have Jaguars money line, Seahawks money line, Chiefs money line, and Cowboys money line, and it pays $25 bet pays off $871. So I don't mind that at all. I think those are good odds. I made one this morning. It's a 6-team half spread, half over under parlay. So I had the Bengals -3 against the Saints once. Dalton might get in the game. They have no receivers. Like, it's going to be a fucking bloodbath. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
The Vikings -3 against the Dolphins. It might be a little bit of a throw, but it's Skylar Thompson. So I'm like,
okay. I think the Vikings should win that game pretty easily.
Browns -2.5 against the Patriots. Both of them obviously starting backup quarterbacks. Getting the Browns by a field goal. It's been one of the better offenses in the NFL in terms of expectation. So results versus expectation. I also picked the under in the Bengals versus Saints game.
Yeah.
I had both of those. Over in the Seahawks versus Cardinals, 50.5. And then
fair.
under in the Jets Packers, 45.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Got a couple supers here, so we'll quickly get to that as well. 279 from A Rose, Deion Jackson or Isaiah McKenzie in the flex half PPR. In a half PPR, I'll trust the workload of Deion Jackson, but that's fucking close. You know what? Let me see where I have a McKenzie in my wide receivers. Is he fully ready to go? Because I know he was hurt last week. Is he fully ready, or is he on a pitch count? Did you hear any news when it comes to Isaiah McKenzie? Yeah, because he was hurt last week.
I think he'll probably be just fine. It was a concussion, right? It wasn't in a lower body or anything. So
that's fair.
As long as he clears the protocol, I assume he's just healthy, right?
That's a good one though. Where are you leaning?
On this question, I would probably go.
I think I'm going Deion, but
I'd go McKenzie for sure on this one.
Fair. There's
I'm not very in on this Deion Jackson hype train.
Appreciate the super chat from Rom. He says start Higgins with confidence. Flex London.
Start Drake London. You got an option like Drake London. I'm going with him.
$5 super chat from Corey. Appreciate that. He says if Gordon doesn't play, I'm stuck. Other 2 running backs have noon games. Ooh, that's actually a tough spot. Just play your other 2 running backs then.
Yeah, or is Latavius available on waivers? Because I think worst case scenario, you just grab Latavius Monday morning to play.
By the way,
who are the other options?
Yeah, let us know in the comments. What was I gonna say? Oh my god, I zoned out. Okay, I got it now. What was the Melvin Gordon injury? Did you say?
Let me look it up. I don't actually remember what it is. I think it's lower body, if I'm not mistaken. I'm looking right now. Melvin Gordon. Jesus, can somebody just tell me what the injury is? Neck and ribs.
What the fuck? Oh, okay.
Kind of a weird injury.
By the way, Sosa tweeted this out. If this is the cost for Christian McCaffrey, he's going to be a Panther rest of the season. You want to hear what Peter Schrager was quoted on when it comes to McCaffrey's trade talks?
Yeah.
Carolina will listen if offers include multiple first-round picks.
Dude, that's such a David Tepper thing to be like, you can't. Christian McCaffrey's the best running back in the league. You're not going to get him for a third. It's like, dude, he's like that rebuilding dynasty team that has Adam Thielen on it. And he's like, you know what Adam Thielen's worth? He's like, you got to give me a first-round pick for him. It's
he's a low-end wide receiver 2, man. He's a low-end wide receiver 2. Pay up.
Yeah, he's that dynasty manager that wants multiple ones for his it's like you got Mike Evans on his roster and he's like, yeah, give me 2 firsts for him. It's like, no, I'm not doing that.
David Tepper's the type of manager that wants to win now despite being the 10th best team in their league or the 12th.
Yeah. He's 1-5 right now and he sells his first round pick. 1-4 and he sells his first round pick to get a win now piece.
He sold his first round pick for Dameon Pierce in the preseason. Yeah. And it's projected to be top 3.
No. He sells it now that he's 1-4. He makes a move to sell his first round pick now because he wants to compete.
I respect it. He's like, the boys should need a wake up call. That's all that matters. We got a couple super chats here quickly. Sorry. Give me Taysom Hill over Irv Smith there, Michael.
I like Irv this week, man.
I know you're an Irv guy, eh?
I am an Irv guy. I like Irv this week.
I like Irv. I'll make you an Irv versus someone bet. I don't necessarily want to go with Taysom because I either smash you in the bet or I lose because there's fucking no in between when it comes to Taysom Hill. Right. But with that being said, in fantasy, I have them back to back. We'll
go Hayden Hurst. You love Hayden Hurst.
Yeah, we'll do Hayden Hurst. Hayden Hurst. But Hayden Hurst is my guy. Irv Smith is your guy.
Hayden Hurst stinks, so I'm not betting on Hayden Hurst.
He stinks, but what tight end doesn't stink outside of the top 5?
Irv Smith.
He kind of stinks too. Don't lie.
Stink. He's a good player.
He kind of smells like some BO. He's left out.
Yeah, he's got a bit of BO to him, but it's like tight end it's acceptable BO because he's a tight end.
Yeah, we're saying this like Irv Smith is still not my tight end 13 right now because of how gross the landscape is. Also, Ethan in the chat mentioned later on. Again, we'll get to the rest of this, or we have one more super chat I'll get to in a second. But fucking Higbee's my tight end 6, and that might be low.
Yeah,
why is he
4? I think in ECR, wasn't he?
Yeah. Dude, why is he a target hog? Like, why is he getting like fucking like 11 targets right now?
I
Like,
don't know. You know what the most irritating thing about fantasy Twitter is? It's like,
what?
imagine feeding Tyler Higbee when you have Allen Robinson. It's
I
like,
know.
he might be better than Allen Robinson at this point.
Bro, the funniest every week is when people go out and tweet like Stafford for sure have an agenda or something, and then just break down his leading targets for the season, and it's fucking like
sounds
Cooper
about
Kupp.
right.
Cooper Kupp, Tyler Higbee, Ben Skrowanek has more targets than Allen Robinson.
It's hilarious, dude. I'm kind of a little pissed at myself that I didn't see the Allen Robinson being a bust coming, because it almost reminds me of AJ Green a couple of years ago when we were like, oh, AJ Green's washed, and everybody else was like, he's a value, and we're like, no, he's washed. And like Robinson was if Matt Harmon didn't say Allen Robinson wasn't washed, I would have been off of him.
I agree.
I agree. Matt Harmon, I'm blaming Matt Harmon for the Allen Robinson
thing. Guess what fucking Tyler Higbee's target share is this year?
What's
I don't
that?
think you're gonna get it. Guess.
Tyler Higbee, it's probably 20%. Higher, 22%. 24.
24.9% target share.
God, what the hell?
Sorry. Got a super chat here. Appreciate that from King Marcello. Also, I'll adjust my volume here. He says start Bellinger, Brait, Otten, Conklin, or Gentry. This would have been this is what I'm going to say. This would have been I would still go with Conklin, but this would have been such an easier Conklin 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to his usage this past week. I think it's because Uzama came back. Zach Wilson. I don't know, but like 2 weeks ago, it looked like fucking Tyler Conklin would be like a top 12 tight end rest of the season, which, by the way, seems gross even like just thinking about that. But now, like, if he's not getting that full workload, I am a little bit worried. With that being said, with these options, you still got to go with him. Where we left off.
He dropped last week from a 7. He had in week 2, he had 88%, 74%, 73% of the team's routes. Last week, he had 35%. But Uzama was there the whole time. He was there week 3, week 4 as well.
But he was recovering from that injury because didn't he suffer it late in the season?
In week 2, he was out. So he suffered it in week 1. Or was it an ACL tear from last year that he had with the Bengals? Maybe.
Wasn't it the Achilles?
Or something, yeah, something like that. But yeah, anyway, Conklin's snaps have kind of went down in week 5, but we'll have to kind of wait and see there. Also, Elijah Moore's route dipped to 81% below Corey Davis last week, which was not ideal.
Yeah, okay. So it was only an MCL sprain. I thought it was worse than that. I know he got.
Yeah, I thought he had a serious injury also when you mentioned that.
Was it 2 years ago maybe that he tore his Achilles then?
No, he blew his ACL 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure.
Thigh and others. Okay, fair. Okay, so I just got mistaken. So the injury he's been dealing with has been like a thigh hamstring sprain, which he's a 31-year-old tight. I don't even know how old he is. He's like a 31-year-old tight end. He's a 30-year-old tight end.
Yeah, he's not very good. Anyways, are we good on the super chats? Can we go
got
back
one
up?
more here. Nor $2 super chat says PPR start 2 DJ Moore, Garrett Wilson, Jerry Jeudy. I love Garrett Wilson, or it's DJ Moore. Never mind. I'm sitting DJ Moore.
Yeah, I'm sitting DJ Moore 100% there.
For some reason, my pre-draft brain clocked in for a second.
Yeah, no.
And I'm like, oh, DJ Moore, top 20 receiver, but that Panthers offense is
definitely not
a mess.
Pickens, and we're gonna go again. Sit DJ Moore. I'd rather start Pickens.
Yeah.
Also, Michael Carter. He had other questions.
Click back. Yeah, my bad.
Also, Michael Carter, Rashad White,
White,
Alice/Kelly. I'm going White there, and I'll just save my roster spot.
Yep. JJ Hall Knox for Kelsey Pierce Swift, who wins. So JJ Hall Knox. Yeah, easily there.
Oh, actually, Knox is pretty useless. So like that's what kind of weighs this trade down. I think I'd actually pick the Kelsey side.
I just don't want to trade high for Damian Pierce because he's had two elite game scripts in a row, and he's probably gonna get valued as like a top 12 to 15 running back. And it's like
Swift and Kelsey helps me
sleep at night.
Because like I think Kelsey and Kelsey Swift versus Hall Jefferson is pretty close.
I would much rather Hall Jefferson.
I would as well, but you get the positional advantage with Kelsey. Plus, you're getting a free Pierce over. Like Knox is useless pretty much right now.
Yeah, Payne. Okay.
It's pretty close trade, but I do think I would take the Swift side because I think depth wise you're in a good spot, especially if you're like 5-0 and you can afford to drop a game this week because Pierce and Swift are on bye. Like I'm cool with that.
Also, for everyone in the comments, make sure you ask your question once. Like, be civil, be relaxing here.
Yeah, we're extremely behind, by the way. We're like at 11:45 a.m. So the best way to get your questions answered is to get in here really fast. As soon as you see us go live, you get your question in here, or leave a super chat like people are. And I mean, we keep plugging it, yet less people want to sign up. But Patreon live stream on Saturday afternoons, we're in there shooting the shit with 15, 20 people every week, and they get all their questions answered and they're ready to go, and they don't have to come in here on Sunday. So as always, you guys can check that out with a ton of other benefits in the description. But let's get into some of the other questions here. Zaddy goated here. One more for my wide receiver 2, Pittman or Higgins. I don't love Pittman this week, but I would still start him over Higgins given the injury.
Yep. I would. Wait, you would start Higgins over Pittman?
No, I would start Pittman over Higgins.
I sorry, my brain clocked it the other way around.
Yeah, okay, you're good. Up today. Stafford or Cousins, not start Matthew Stafford. Give me Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford's closer to the waiver wire than my lineup at this point.
I don't know how that happened, but what's up, boys? What's going on, Malachi?
One thing. Yeah, Sheerling, you sound like a tough guy in the chat. It would be a shame if I just did that.
True. Which two?
Okay, Spicy Hot's got it. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's got it. I'll let Spicy Hot handle the spam.
It sounds good. Sorry, I love doing that every now and then because it's like this guy's going in the chat and he's doing that. I'm like, yeah. How about this though?
Yeah. Okay. What should I flex at a Deion Jackson? I feel like you care about this way more than I do. I could give 2 fucks if people are spamming in the chat.
AJ, I just have fun with it.
Yeah. AJ Dillon or Romeo Dobbs would probably be the guys that I'd go with there. I don't
give me the pack
this week, as I've kind of mentioned 70 times so far this stream. Who should I start? Pollard or Elijah Moore? Ugh. Pollard probably is where I'm going with that. Actually, you know what? It's a terrible matchup for Pollard. Just give me the quote-unquote upside. Yeah. Elijah Moore gets back on track. I'll take Elijah Moore there.
Give me Elijah Moore, and I'm a Cowboys fan.
He also says, what do you think about the CMC potentially being traded to the teams that are interested in him? Are Broncos, 49ers, Rams, Bills? Dude, imagine if he went to San Francisco. That'd be so fun.
Please don't put him with Ross.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be gross, dude.
Though, I will say from a fantasy perspective,
he's been using his running back passing game.
That's what I was going to say. Okay, like, hear me out. Like, I don't want him to go there because I just don't want to watch Russell Wilson every week if I have Christian McCaffrey on my team. But he does get an elite target share. So,
yeah, I think the dream landing spot is, as much as everybody wants it to be Buffalo, I think the dream landing spot is LA for Christian McCaffrey.
Not for Henderson shares.
Bad line and stuff, but Stafford will pepper him with targets. Like, I think it's going to be a great, like, it would be really fun in Buffalo, though, just from like a real football standpoint. I think the Bills are pushing their chips in to win a Super Bowl. It would make a ton of sense for them to go after Christian McCaffrey.
The 49ers would be fun. The only thing, though, is like assuming he got the workload, which I mean he should, but like I just don't think they give capital for a running back, so I can't see it happening.
No, they would. They wouldn't want to be on the hook for that much money and that much draft capital for a running back.
Well, that would be like, okay, I wouldn't even say
maybe
like
if this was like right when Elijah Mitchell went down, but like Elijah Mitchell's coming back soon.
Yep. Okay. We got a super chat here. Sorry. $5 super chat from Mike. Should I trade Debo for his Mixon PPR 10 team? My receivers. It could be Debo. Mixon has just been playing.
You're just fine at running back, dude. You got Hall, you got Walker, you got some good depth pieces with ETN, White, Pollard, Matt. Like his running back bench is pretty much exactly what we talked about. Look at the implied value of that running back core. You've got Walker and Hall that you can start now, and Pollard, ETN, Eno, White, and Madison are all contingency plays, and you're seeing some of it pay off right now with Eno, who I think is a good start this week.
And again, we'll get to the next chats in a second, but this is what I love because people wonder what I mean when I say like implied value, like point production versus implied value. And when you get to the team like this, you already have a good team right now, but there's things that can break right to make you unbeatable. And that's what I'm always looking for. Because in fantasy, we're like, yeah, obviously you want to outscore the person in front of you on a week-to-week basis. No kidding. Like that's the main goal. And if you draft well enough, you should be able to do so. However, you still want to bake in scenarios for yourself where you're not only like winning games, like you're you have potential to be like a 12 or 14 weeks, right? 12-2 team, 11-3 type of team. You put yourself in a position where, oh, well, like this running back I drafted in round 12, this running back I drafted in round 11. Well, now they're top 15 guys for the next few weeks. Like you're giving yourself so many paths to paying off. So that's why I love again, like Madison, White.
I think everybody knows that those guys are good, though.
I know, but I feel like, especially in
people draft them and then they'll drop them after 3 games.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they'll be like, oh, I need to have, Corey Davis on my bench because I need like a guy I can flex or something like that.
It's so funny because the people that are willing to pay the most for them are always going to be the people that have the main backs to the handcuff, right? But like for you, like again, obviously if you get adequate value, you can trade them. But for your own perspective, like having them on the bench if you don't have their starter just gives you again more paths to winning through a 17-game schedule. We know running backs are volatile. We know running backs are fragile. We know that realistically in a 17-game season, what would you say the over-under for Madison's starts are in a year? Probably like 2.5, 3.5?
Yeah, something like that.
So like if you know you're getting 2 to 4 games of RB1 top 10 level production for a 10th, 11th round opportunity cost pick, like that should be an auto slam every single time.
Well, yeah, one of our biggest videos last year that did like the most views was I ranked all the handcuffs in like week 11.
I remember that
it was. And that video went off for like 20K views because I actually ended up winning my league because of that video. Like I ranked all the handcuffs, and then on my waiver wire that week, I grabbed, I think it was Khalil Herbert, Darrell Williams, Sony Michel, and Penny. And all of those guys ended up being great down the stretch, and it ended up winning me my league, right? So it's almost like a best ball mindset, right? Like if you can advance those handcuffs, you might reap those benefits in the fantasy playoffs, right? Which is obviously when you need wins the most. So we'll get back to
got a couple super chats here. One from Aegon, Dylan or Hunt RB2, tight end or Kittle. Give me Hunt and Kittle there. Assuming you agree. Oh wait, Dylan. Actually, I have Dylan over Hunt. I would go with Dylan and Kittle. My bad.
Yeah, they're both good plays, but yeah,
they're both very good plays.
Dylan slightly there.
Next one from Juice. Appreciate that. He says, Alec Pierce or James Robinson, the flex non PPR. In a non PPR, just give me James Robinson.
Yeah, I'd probably take him even in PPR, to be honest.
Yeah. It's relatively closer though. I mean, Pierce has gotten like all the routes. His target share last week is very high. Like there's a real opportunity that he could potentially be the number 2 weapon on that offense. So like I'm relatively optimistic on Pierce, but he's more so a piece where if he has another game, like I would see if I can tear up using him. Who up, guys? Stafford. Appreciate the super chat. Give me Cousins again. Stafford close to the waiver wire than my lineup. Appreciate the super chat, brother.
Yeah, he's gross.
Yep, you have where we left off.
Yep. Okay, so Brian here. Higgins, DJ Moore, Kirk, Benjamin, pick 3, please. I will sit DJ Moore of those options.
How gross is that?
Just sold Melvin Gordon for Cam Akers, so I hope whatever is happening isn't bad news about the player himself. I've never accepted a trade faster in my life. I would have rather had Melvin Gordon, to be honest. If somebody offered me a draft league Melvin Gordon for Cam Akers and I had Cam Akers, I would have accepted that trade never faster in my life too.
I will say, like, again, production value, I would probably prefer rest of the season. I'd probably prefer Melvin, but right now, obviously, I definitely prefer Melvin. But again, like if we're baking in implied value, and he goes to a situation where
I don't think Cam Akers had a ton of implied value.
Not even just implied value for his future point production. I'm more so saying how the market's going to react.
Maybe, but like I don't know, man. I think just give me the guaranteed touches with Melvin Gordon.
I would probably still lean Gordon a little bit too, but like that. It's closer than it would initially seem.
Yeah, I've cooled down dramatically on Cam Akers. Like since like week 4, I've been like, just get him off my team. I don't want him. He's done. That was the risk. I told you guys going into the season in my breakouts video and all that kind of stuff where I'm like, Cam Akers could absolutely flop. Like it's not a guarantee. Jerry Jeudy or Michael Pittman Jr. I will take Michael Pittman Jr. this week.
Yeah. They're actually really close to my rankings, though. I have.
Yeah, I like Jeudy this week as well. Sup, boys? Good luck on this fine Sunday. Good luck to you as well, the Gringo. Start Hayden Hurst or Pitts. I'll take Kyle Pitts there.
Yep, give me Kyle Pitts.
T. Higgins is active. I don't know what that means, but he is active, so he's playing. The early birds were active. Facts. MVS or Deion Jackson.
Okay, process would lead to MVS. I just don't want to watch MVS in my lineup.
I'm going to take MVS. Give me the 54 point over under. I don't like either of these options.
It's a good process.
Give me the high scoring game environment. I think the Jags Colts game might be 12-9.
I would say Dion. They're both very volatile for their positions, but the question for MVS is he a good enough player? Because we know the points are going to come in that
I'm
game.
at 41 this week, man. I have him pretty high.
Where do I have him? Because he's
like, I have him
45 for me.
More, dude.
Oh, that's I will bet you that.
Let's do it.
All right.
MVS versus DJ Moore. Never thought I'd be making that bet at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, literally though. Yeah, where we left off.
Yeah. Flex which two? Algier, Alec Pierce, Deion Jackson. So I'll take Algier for the first one, and then I'll probably go Deion Jackson with the second one. This is the first time I've said Deion Jackson this whole time as a guy that I'm going with.
Yeah.
Should I start Benjamin or Raheem with JP out? I have Benjamin higher.
So I have Raheem one spot higher. I'll bet you that. I don't have much conviction on that. Keep that in mind. 13 versus 14 in my rankings, but I still slightly prefer Raheem Mostert, so I will put the skin in the game theoretically here.
Oh, I'm taking Benjamin there, dude. Come on, you're nuts. Higher over under, better quarterback, better player. Nah, that's facts. That's not facts. I mean, Raheem's probably a better player, but I like this week. He's got more involvement in the receiving game. Pick 2, running back and flex PPR, ETN, James Robinson, Pollard, and Gallup. Lots of players on bye this week. I can pick
ETN and Gallup
more off of waivers too, but I would have to drop somebody above. I don't know which more that is, whether that's Rondale or Elijah, but I probably would pick them up as stashes if you can, but I don't really see any that you'd have to drop.
Cody said in Dynasty. Okay, yeah, easily then.
Oh yeah, okay. In Dynasty, sure, yeah. Give me I'll take ETN probably as the first guy there, and then Gallup as the second, most likely. Is probably where I'm going there.
Fully agree with that. Let's rip these off as fast as we can.
Yeah, I'm gonna read 3 and then I'll click 3 that you read and then we'll go off. Okay. So only one of us is giving takes on these. Devontae Smith and J Rob for T Higgins. Did I give up too much? No, you didn't. I'll take T Higgins there. Start Irv Smith or Kyle Pitts. I will take Kyle Pitts there. Figs. What's up, guys? Flex Walker or DK Metcalf. That is a very fucking close call. I'll probably take Metcalf there just with the way he's been playing. But I love Walker this week as well. Now you're up 3 in a row.
Pitts over Tunyon and Disley there, Mark.
Yeah.
Mia Bush. Yeah.
We are hammering out a deal behind the scenes. I'll probably wait until after this week though, by the way, Jay Full, because I won't have time before 1 o'clock.
Is he tanking now?
He's trying to rebuild, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. FSC have defensive question. Cowboys or Patriots? Much appreciated.
Cowboys,
huh?
I'll take the Cowboys. They're just better defense.
I agree. I mean, like, it's a tough matchup, obviously, going up against the Eagles. Really good offense, but you still got to trust the fact that they are a very, very low over-under in that game. We expect both defenses to really shine. I don't really think the Cowboys are going to go too risky on the offensive perspective, and I don't know. Like, it's the Cowboys defense. They're playing way too well for me to sit right now, pretty much. Analysis aside, in terms of matchup, like, just start players that are good or units that are good.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, boys. Start 2, please. T. Lazard and Eno Benjamin, 1 wide receiver and 1 flex. Listen, I know T's banged up, but you are not, I can't start Lazard over him. It's T and Eno for me.
Yep. All right, I'm going to rip 3 in a row here. Yep. Should I start Pittman, Godwin, or Kirk in an 8? You can set your lineups. Mine are all good if you want.
Yep, I'll do that.
Pittman, Godwin, or Kirk in an 8-man PPR. I'm going Chris Godwin there. He's inside my top 10 this week.
Yep, I agree with that.
Thielen or Rondale Moore or DJ Moore, pick 2. So I'll go with the first 2, Thielen and Rondale Moore. I'm not starting DJ Moore this week. I don't want to. Skylar Thompson for the dub. Was glad to see that trade in my inbox this morning. Good luck with the Sky, man. Okay, so for those of you guys that don't know, in a Dynasty League, my dumbass played Justin Fields in my super flex spot, and I have Ryan Tannehill on bye, and Jameis Winston was my other quarterback, but Jameis Winston was ruled out, obviously, a couple days ago or earlier today or whenever he was ruled out. So I had no starting quarterback. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to send my 4th round pick for Skylar Thompson just to throw in my lineup right now because I'm trying to, I'm a contender. I'm trying to compete for a bye week. I can't just be dropping games out here. So not ideal position that I'm in, but it's a 4th round pick, whatever.
Yeah, who cares? Well, what's the 4th round realistically?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to. That was what I wanted to do. I sent a couple people 3rds for some of their quarterbacks. Like I sent you a 3rd for Mariota because I was like, Mariota might actually have some other value.
I didn't even see that this morning.
I sent you a 3rd for Mariota before. I sent a bunch of people either 3rds or 4ths depending on their players. Spicy hot a 4th for Cooper Rush. Like just a spot start is what I needed.
A decent offer. I probably still would have held though because I don't have a quarterback 3 until Watson gets back.
Yeah, and you're competing though. I forgot you were
semi
you were a rebuilder because of a while ago you were.
It's genuinely just a house money year in that league for me. Like I have a lot of value on my team. The only thing is my running backs. Yeah. Well, I mean, I tried to
Or
get
no,
Barkley.
we were both competing for Akers. That's what happened, right? We were both trying to get Akers, and then
Dude,
you ended up getting him, right?
remember I kept trying to offer you Akers plus for Barkley, and you're like, oh, I like it, but I can't do it. You couldn't pull the trigger.
Before you even got Akers, whoever had him, I think it was Jared. We were both in his DMs trying to get him, and you ended up getting him.
That deal looks very gross for me, by the way.
Yeah, it does, and I'm glad
Very
I didn't
gross.
make it
You've
because I
seen it?
offered. I think my deal was better than yours, even though you got him. I think I offered more.
Have you re-looked at the offer?
What was
The
it?
deal? Oh man. Okay, so I got Traylon Burks and Cam Akers.
Okay.
I gave up a 2023 1, 2, and 3. That's not the worst part. And I'm on St. Brown.
Oh, yikes, dude. That's
Yeah.
looking worse than your Debo and Mark Andrews trade that you sent me last year.
It probably is. Fuck, man. In that league, realistically though, like my running backs long term are set with Walker and Brees Hall for the most part. It's just like the reason why I'm 2 and 3 right now is obviously each of those guys kind of got off to slower-ish start.
I have so many running backs on my team, dude. I have Fournette, Kamara, Barkley, Dobbins. Like my whole team's running backs.
Set the tone.
Anyways, ETN, McKenzie, or Dobbs in the flex. I'll take McKenzie there, man. I love McKenzie this week.
I would go Dubs.
Yeah, that's a close call though. All those guys would be kind of relatively in the same range. The thing, Higgins already lost me 2 weeks. I'm sure he did. For many of you guys at T Higgins, you're probably not trusting him right now. I'm probably more inclined to throw him in as a top 30 wide receiver this week though. Hey, lads, sit one. Pittman, Kenneth Walker, Marquise Brown. Probably can't sit Hollywood. No, you can't.
Yeah, you got to sit Pittman here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pick one: Darrell Henderson, Deion Jackson, Jerry Jeudy. I will take Darrell Henderson there.
Yeah, I agree with that. By the way, Corey. So I'll give you guys a little start scissors and I'll let you guys decide in the comments as well. I know where I have it right now, but would you go with Deion Jackson this week?
Probably the other option.
I was gonna say
I don't even know who you're gonna say.
Oh, you're gonna say Rondell Moore, obviously.
Yeah, Rondell Moore, 100%.
That's who I had in. I had Rondell in.
Yeah.
Really interesting though. You have where we left off.
Yeah. Good morning, full PPR. AJ Dillon with a DY. Clyde Edwards, taller. He's not very tall.
He's a little short.
And good luck. I will go with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I like the game environment there.
You want to hear the most random trade of all time?
What's that?
I just got offered. Someone offered me Taysom Hill for Deion Jackson in a redraft league. What?
Yeah, that's gross.
I have David.
Yeah, so I ended up making the swap. I picked up Robert Tonyan and I threw him in instead of Hunter Henry in my tight end spot. I'm down this week. I think I've been down at least 2 to 3 starters every single game this year.
Really?
Because I've been down Dak since week 1. I've been down Alvin Kamara a couple weeks, Michael Thomas a couple weeks. I'm missing Pat Freiermuth this week. Like I'm just not in a great spot from an injury perspective. Who should I start? Pickens, J-Rob, or Alec Pierce for my flex spot? I would go probably James Robinson, but I don't love that decision there. Steven, what are your thoughts on D-Hop rest of the season? I think he's probably going to be top 20 receiver. I'll be a little conservative with him and say top 20. He could definitely be a top 10 receiver, but I don't want to count on that quite yet. Trade Waddle, Taysom for AJ Brown. How did I do? That's a great move. I like AJ Brown there. Drake London or Josh Palmer, full PPR flex. I like Drake London there. Malchi. Good old Dobby or Garrett Wilson. I'll take Garrett Wilson over J.K. Dobbins if that's who you're referring to, and Elijah Moore as well. Gabriel Davis or Drake London, full PPR. I'll take Gabriel Davis.
I won't. I'll make that bet with you. I'll take London.
All right, let's do it.
All right, bet. That is the most volatile boom bust bet of all time, by the way, because like solid like median range of outcomes, it's easily London given the target share. But I mean, Gabe Davis, like he could just.
I wouldn't say it's easily London given the target share, because even though Drake London has like a 35% target share, it equates to like 7 targets a game because they don't throw the ball, and Gabriel Davis has like a 16% target share, but it equates to 7 targets a game.
Yeah, and Gabe Davis's ceiling this week is basically just
it's very high. Yeah.
It's just
do you think they're gonna like shade coverage towards him and it's just a monster Diggs game because Gabe Davis decimated them in the playoffs? I hope not, because I play against Diggs, but
yeah, no, imagine.
Dude, have I read you Arnold's receiving core?
You mentioned it. He has like a Lamb, Cup.
So the team I'm playing against this week, you guys can wish me luck. Because outside of Khalil Herbert, who he had to start as his RB2 this week because he's running a 0 RB and Khalil Herbert's his RB2 right now, His team is Lamar Jackson, Ramondre Stevenson's his RB1. This is his receiving course. The dumbest thing you guys are ever going to hear in your life. Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Pittman Jr., and Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's on bye this week, thankfully.
Jesus.
But that's his starting 5 receiver and a 3 wide receiver with 2 flex.
Yeah.
He has Diggs, Jefferson, Lamb, Pittman, and Amon-Ra as his top 5 receivers.
How do you get Diggs?
He traded Jacobs and somebody else for Diggs.
Yeah, Arnie's winning your league.
He's going to win, dude. He's going to win. Arnie's way better than mine.
Yeah, who took Jacobs in a piece for Diggs? Like what?
Riley.
You must love the running back.
Don't worry, we've been roasting him for a while now.
Yeah, that is
fucked his team up. So,
well, I mean, when did he do that trade?
This week.
Ew.
Yeah, you know what the annoying thing was too is that I was gonna play against Arnold with no Jacobs and no Amon-Ra, so I'm like, oh, I have a chance to win this week, and then he just trades for Diggs when he plays the Chiefs.
Wait, so it was Jacobs and who?
No, Amon-Ra he has on bye, so
Okay.
he traded away Jacobs, and I think it's the other guy. They did a 3-way trade.
What?
Yeah, I think he ended up netting Jacobs and Sutton for Diggs. Which is, I mean, not a bad return, but
I don't want to do that at all.
Anyways, it is 1 p.m. We are
appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we didn't even get to 12 p.m. today, so definitely appreciate all you guys leaving comments. Again, if we didn't answer your question, I apologize. There was concurrently 125 of you for the most part in here. Like I said, if you want access to our weekly rankings, you get our start sits that way. You can check out our private live stream on Patreon as well. You can also reach out to us on Discord, Twitter, all that kind of stuff early in the week, especially. We'll be able to get to your questions at that point in time on Sunday mornings. We're just swamped with questions, so we don't get to them. But anyways, appreciate you guys joining us. Good luck today. Hopefully we get an Elijah Moore bounce back because I'm very sad.
I'm praying for it. Everybody, if you're saying a prayer right now,